Hi, hello, welcome everyone to yet another episode of Royals on the Road. To those of you who are not so sure of what this is or want a heads up on what this actually is all about, here is the heads up of what exactly it is. So, with IPL being over, cricket is not over. Cricket is happening all over the world, and we are all bounded and united by this game of cricket. So, what we do is to gather together as Super Royals and discuss about the cricket that's happening all over the world. And not just that, we shed some light and specialize and emphasize on the performances of our Royals players all over the world, internationally or in any local tournaments. So, with that being said, let's jump onto the show. We have some passionate Super Royals here, and just before that, we have a very special guest today. Let me remind you something. If you're a royal, then you're always a royal. It just doesn't necessarily need to be a supporter of Rajasthan Royals, but if you even support Barbados Royals or the Pal Royals, you're still a royal and you're into the Royals family. On that note, we have a very special guest today, Timothy Thompson. Timothy, we are very much pleased and we welcome you to this show, and we would like to hear from you a short introduction about you on what you are and how passionate you are towards the game of Rajasthan Royals or Barbados Royals. Just a few words about what you are.
Hey guys, thanks for having me. It's been for the past about 10 years. I've been a Barbados fan. It was previously the Tridents, but now the Royals. And I'm pleased to know that the Barbados Royals know that their call have a linkage with the Rajasthan Royals, the IPL team that is a good team that everyone likes in the IPL per se that I like to watch also. So yeah, what else?
Yeah, that's pretty much that says it all. I mean, that's the recognition that IPL has got all over the world. People like to watch IPL, and that's the biggest pride that we can have as supporters of IPL. So, moving on to the other participants of this call, we have passionate Super Royals. We have Super Royal Mayank. Mayank, hi, how are you?
All good, all good. How about you?
Yeah, doing fine. So, Shefali, we have Super Royal Shefali here. Shefali, how are you doing?
Hi everyone. Hi Dinesh. I'm doing good. The weather is
Yeah,
pretty awesome here at
yeah.
Pune.
I mean, even cricket weather is also very good all through the world.
Yeah, lots of
It's
tournaments are going on, so it's
yes,
keeping us busy.
yeah, it's catching up very well. And Saurabh, welcome here. How are you doing?
Hi, buddy. All good. How about you all?
We're all doing great. So I am Super Royal Dinesh. So I'm so much passionate and I'm so much looking forward for this particular session. And to those of you who are watching, please keep your comments coming and your comments will be displayed here. And if you have any questions or thought prompters that you want us to be answering or to be discussing about, please keep that coming and we are sure to answer it. May not be during the call or there might be a session at the end where we interact with the fans, we answer and respond to the questions that you keep coming here. So do watch and do share with others as well. Keep it engaging, and we are sure to entertain you to the best we can. All right. Okay. So first things first. There's a lot of cricket that's happening, but first things first. The cricket that's happening in Asia is actually gaining a lot of attention because the team that had been that have been termed as minnows had actually been performing so well. I'm talking about Afghanistan here. They're actually performing so well, and they won two games where other teams like Bangladesh and Sri Lanka they were actually uncertain of who would make to the next round of Asian Cup actually. And that being said, India clearly being the favorites, they have been doing exceptionally well. And to talk about India, no one will actually ever forget or deny that India Pakistan contest will always be a nail biting contest or the contest that will be curiously looked upon. So, that being said, Timothy, I would like to ask you this as a neutral fan, what do you feel or what do you infer from this particular game of the last concluded India versus Pakistan, where India had an emphatic win over Pakistan? Did you watch it? What do you infer from that? What is your takeaway from that game? Talk us through that.
That encounter is usually a historic occurrence, and it is a historic rivalry, the Pakistan versus India. But although this is historic, we see that India have won the majority of the T20 encounters, winning that was 8 out of 10 of them, so 80% win percentage. But the game was a good encounter with India bowling well, bowling up Pakistan for 147, with Bhuvi taking 4 wickets from his overs, and Arshdeep was also good with Hardik Pandya, who was terrific also in that encounter. Who had an all-round performance in that game and was their man of the match.
It really surprises me how you put up the stats to us. Because being a neutral fan, how you put up the stats with players and the wickets, number of wickets and number of runs scored, you really impressed us, Timothy. Thanks for that. And over to you, Mayank. So, as Timothy had actually told us, Bhuvneshwar Kumar, he was amongst the wickets for 26. When we talk about T20, a lot of spotlight had been shed on players like Bumrah or players like Mohammad Shami in the past, or players like Arshdeep, or players like Avesh Khan, Harshal Patel. But not many of us are actually talking about Bhuvneshwar Kumar. But Bhuvneshwar Kumar has been a constant factor for the last 8 or 9 years for India. So him being an integral part of India, and he coming back to the scene with a performance like 4 for 26. How do you think that it is going to benefit us for the upcoming series and also to the T20 World Cup?
I think Bhuvneshwar Kumar, I think he was always a when he came into the scene, he did really well. Unfortunately, after the injury, we it was like a little bit downfall for him. But like in the last 1 year, he has really come back into form, and it's really good to see him because he is that kind of a bowler who can swing the ball from the start in any conditions and can also bowl in the death. So he's like much Bumrah is like for the death, and then there is Bhuvneshwar Kumar who bowls in both the slots. He can open the bowling and can bowl in the death as well. So I think that's a very crucial role, and I don't think right now anyone else can fill that slot for India. So I think he's going to be very important for India in the upcoming months with World Cups coming up and obviously other important series.
Exactly, that's very, very well said. Bhuvneshwar Kumar is one kind of bowler who can be given the ball at any juncture of the game, be it with the new ball or be it the death bowling or be it as a partnership breaker. He can be a trusted and experienced bowler for the upcoming series for India. With that being said, Shafani, I'll come to you on asking about the good point that India will take from the last couple of matches. That is Virat Kohli getting back to runs. So it was against Hong Kong that he had got some good runs, but let's not forget that he has got some good valuable 30 runs in his first match against Pakistan. So I sort of feel it's a welcome sign for India because he has been on and off with his form, and it has been a point where a lot of people have been discussing and criticizing about. So how do you feel Virat Kohli coming back to a party? I'm very sure that it's not a 50 or a 60 or a 70 that he has scored, but him being under runs like 35 or 40 or 50 is actually a welcome sign. So how do you see Virat Kohli getting back to runs in the recent past is going to benefit Indian team in the seasons to come?
Yeah, so people were actually waiting from a quite a long time, and they were like quite. They were also hopeful that Asia Cup will be that tournament where he'll be scoring. So it was expected out of him that he was supposed to play at least against Pakistan, and he did decently well over there. And even the last match that he played against Hong Kong, so we can see that his form is back, and it's a good sign because we have a World Cup T20 coming up, and he was supposed to play well so that because that's a big tournament coming soon, and he need to be prepared or have his place settled over there, because now there were also talks going on that will he be dropped, will Virat Kohli be dropped because of his performance. So he has made a mark that okay, he is there to stay, and the World Cup T20 is coming, so it's a very good sign for us India. And I feel that in World Cup we have like a very good chance, because we are playing a lot of T20 tournaments, and we are like quite experienced and being very good in T20 at least. Yes. And I would also like to add on Afghanistan, the way Afghanistan is playing. I you said that it's a minion, like they are like a small team, but I don't feel so, because I really feel that in the World Cup T20 they are going to be in the top four for sure, because the way they're bowling, um, no one can compete. They're in the T20. Nabi, Rashid Khan, they're all there in the top, and Muzibur Rahman is doing so well, and then even in the batting, they are. I saw that match. I mean, the matches that they played in Asia Cup, the openers are doing great. Literally, even in the batting, they're doing so great. So I literally feel that they're going to win the top four of the World Cup tournament.
Yeah, I was about to have this Afghanistan as a special section or a special round of questions for every one of you. So, yes.
Okay, I
So,
mixed everything. Yeah. Okay.
that's okay.
Hmm.
Well, that being said, Saurabh, over to you. So, tomorrow is going to be a very big game. So, I think the organizers of the game and the broadcasters are very tricky. They are having big games in the Sundays. The last Sunday it was India versus Pakistan, and this Sunday it's going to be India versus Pakistan again. So they have all the plans in their head on how to keep the cricket fans engaged, how to keep the viewers engaged, and that is how it happens. So a week is actually a span between one India versus Pakistan game and another India versus Pakistan game. So Saurabh, so what would be your expectation, or what would be your early predictions of tomorrow's game? Can be anything. It can be India winning it or losing it, or Pakistan winning it or losing it, or any big performances, or whatever it can be. So what are your early predictions, or what are your thoughts about tomorrow's game?
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a big ticket game. Looking forward to it. Uh, for me, the predictions after seeing the bowling of Pakistan yesterday against Hong Kong, they absolutely rattled Hong Kong at 38 all out. So they are carrying a bit. Uh, Early runs for India are key for me. If KL Rahul gets going, or Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, one of them has to get going. You can't rely on the back end in every match. Like Hardik did well in the previous game, but every day is not going to be the same. So you need runs at the top. If India gets runs at the top, I think they are favorites for me. It's,
Totally
the
agree
key
with
is
you,
early.
Saurabh.
I would
Yeah, I
like to
totally
add
agree with
on
you.
Hardik actually. The emergence of Hardik Pandya is like phenomenal, because the after winning the IPL final, I mean, see, we didn't take him seriously during the as a captain basically, and winning the Gujarat. The Gujarat, the way they won, and then the way he bowled, because we understand that batting is his strength, but his bowling in the final of the IPL, and then even now he's taking the ownership, and he has become a different cricketer altogether. That's what I feel about him.
Well, yes, the last Asia Cup, he was carried away in a stretcher, and this Asia Cup, he has come with the wide open arms stretching towards the cup, and let's hope that he takes a trophy for India. So,
Yeah.
thoughts
Just
about
one more thing.
finalists. Yeah, Saurabh, to
Yeah,
say
just one
something.
more thing on Bhuvan. Yeah, just one
Sure.
more thing on Bhuvi, that he always remains under the radar. You never talk about Bhuvneshwar Kumar in the team. He always does well. He always does his job, and his performance was critical against Pakistan that day, because the other two pitches were fairly inexperienced. If you see, in that sense, that those 4 wickets values a lot in that game, and especially for the World Cup. The World Cup is in Australia, so he doesn't have that pace to ball the bouncer, but he showed against Babar Azam that his bouncers are accurate. So the pace doesn't really matter if you bowl the accurate bouncers, like the Chennai bouncers.
Yeah, he's not pacey. I totally agree to this point. But he has got a number of variations with him. Be it with a new ball, he has that perfect seam presentation. He has got that swing, and he is actually a street smart bowler where he alters the pace. So he's a complete package. Although he's not pacey, he's a complete package. I totally agree with you, Saurabh. And a quick prediction on who would be the winners of this Asia Cup and who would be the finalists. Timothy?
I could see it going India's direction, but I think that Afghanistan could also make a final as well.
All right, that's an interesting take, and
Yeah.
no one would actually object to this. Actually, the kind of game that both these teams have actually played, it wouldn't be a surprise if we get to see that. And Mayank,
I think the way Afghanistan is playing right now, and I really want to see how they play against India and Pakistan. And if they continue a performance like this, I guess Afghanistan will definitely go into the finals. And obviously, that one spot will be taken by India or Pakistan, obviously. But as of now, if you ask two teams, I would say rather India versus Afghanistan.
all right, okay, Shefali, since you have talked about Afghanistan on your own, I suppose Afghanistan would be your finalist as well. But yeah, talk us through it.
Yeah, it will be either India versus Pakistan in the final or India versus Afghanistan. But yeah, Afghanistan has more chances. That's what I feel. So let's see how it goes.
So you're as tricky as the organizers were. You just want another Super Sunday of India versus Pakistan. Yeah, I understand you. I get your
See,
point
we
actually.
cannot
Yeah.
we cannot take Pakistan lightly. That's what I feel. Considering that it's a T20 and they have some very good, but we have Jwan and yeah, they have pretty good, strong batting and bowling lineup in who have performed pretty well in T20. So I don't want to take them lightly. So yeah, but yeah, India is gonna be there. So it will be either in the final Pakistan or Afghanistan. But T20 World Cup, Afghanistan is definitely coming to the top four. That I can, that I
Well,
that's a gut
that will be
feeling.
early. Yeah, that will be early predictions, and rightly so. They deserve to be there. All right. Okay. Saurabh,
Yeah, I won't think they would feature in top four in the World Cup, but in UAE, Afghanistan, you can't rule out. Those three spinners are world class. It won't be a surprise if they make it to the finals. But for me, India versus Pakistan is on the next Sunday as well.
all right. So with that being said, so India is going to be a constant factor in the finals as per everyone's choice, and the other team is going to be any stan, that is Afghanistan or Pakistan. So let's have our fingers crossed to see what happens in the over next 4 or 5 days to see how the Asia Cup is turning out to be. So, having spoken a lot about the Asia Cup, we have other cricket as well to be talked about, and it is going to be a very important tournament. And even for Royals' perspective, CPL is going to be an unavoidable and undeniable platform where we are going to talk a lot about. That is because we have our own Barbados Royals playing both the men's franchise and the women's franchise as well. So, talking about that, the CPL has just started, and Barbados Royals have really started so well this tournament. So, Timothy, coming to you, we have got a very good victory in our last match against the Patriots. So, your early predictions or your views about this particular Barbados Royals that are shaped up to be a match-winning side or a tournament-winning side. Your thoughts about that, and please take us through the strengths that you see Barbados Royals are having, or talk us through the weakness that, or the concern points, or the bothering point that you think Barbados Royals are going to suffer or going to be hampered through. Just talk us through that, Timothy, because there can't be any better perspective than a fan of Barbados Royals, a local Barbados Royals, than we all speaking about it.
Well, I think that the side is pretty balanced on paper. I'm not seeing much of a weakness per se in team, with their strength to me being a powerful batting unit, which it goes from the top straight down to the lower order. With Kyle Mears, there's the Raheem Cornwall, there's the Carmen Bosch, the captain David Miller. Azam Khan from Pakistan. There's Devon Thomas, Jason Holder, and also Clinton the Cop to add into that lineup is going to make them a force to be reckoned with. So I think that Barbados is more than equipped to win this the 10th edition of the CPL. Really.
All right. So yes, it's a very interesting uh, tournament that is turning out to be, just because of the fact that most of the players who have been part of Rajasthan Royals or had been part of Rajasthan Royals are getting to play for the Barbados Royals, and it's a good sign for the Rajasthan Royals in IPL as well, because they get to know what kind of combinations they want, and they have some players unexperienced, unexperimented, or inexperienced players like Corbin Bosch, who is not experimented much in the IPL, playing in CPL. So that could be healthy experimentation, I would say, in the CPL. So with that being said, Mayank, over to you. So what's that particular strength that you're seeing in the Barbados Royals contingent, and or what could be that bothering point or concern that could be hampering the chances sooner or later for Barbados Royals?
I think his strength is obviously their batting. The way, like Timothy said, from top to bottom, everyone can bat. Even Corbin Bosch has shown how he can bat. Obviously, Mayers played a brilliant innings. Cornwall has been in great form, and Quinton de Kock has just landed. And I guess in the 60 and in the one match of CPL, I guess their bowling was bit, sometimes good, sometimes bad. But I think that will be also sorted once Mujibur Rahman's comes when the Asia Cup is over. So I guess all in all, I don't see any such weakness. And I guess when once all the players are available, the Barbados Royals will be a team to beat this season.
Definitely. With me agreeing to most of the points with Timothy and Mayank. When I talk about the weakness, or when I talk about a concern or a bothering, what I actually feel is Barbados Royals are just one leg spinner short, I would say, because they have a spinner in the name of Joshua Bishop, and yes, Rakim Kanwal can spin as well. But I'm someone who is from Indian subcontinent. Okay, a typical Indian always loves to have that leg spinner or a wrist spinner in the side. So that is something that I was not able to see in Barbados Royals in the last game. They managed to win. That's a very good sign about it. But at some point, I feel there has to be a leg spinner or a wrist spinner who could actually turn the game in its head. So that's the only concern or the bothering point that I have. And Shafali, this is going to be an interesting topic here. We have Corbin Bosch in Barbados Royals, and we had Corbin Bosch as a replacement for Nathan Coulter-Nile for the last stage of IPL last year. I mean, this year, the last season. So, how do you think Corbin Bosch getting back to a format where he could contribute for the Royals is going to matter much in the IPL? So, what contribution are you looking forward from Corbin Bosch, or what exactly Corbin Bosch is up to? So, that would be my question to you, since we have not seen much of Corbin Bosch performing in IPL. So, what's that Corbin Bosch to you in the CPL?
We have like a lot of expectation from Corbin Bosch, and he is an all rounder. So he can actually, we have seen that he can bat also along with the bowling, and yeah, actually have a pretty like everyone mentioned, like we have a pretty good batting and bowling lineup, and these are all our strengths, and the most of the hopes are from Corbin Bosch actually. He is like a very strong player that we have in the team, and I'm expecting him to perform like well. And he took a wicket like in just the first match, and but from the economy point of view, I feel there can be much improvements over there. Otherwise, I feel that he is the one who is supposed to be, we should look out for, and also Kylie Mayers. These are the two players that I feel I certainly look out for.
Well, the reason why I asked about Corbin Bosch specifically was, well, it just reminded me of a few players of Rajasthan Royals in the past. Because
Hmm.
back in 2012 and 2013, in that span of time, I was looking and searching for the stats of a player named James Faulkner. He was new. He was not known. He was not much known in the global arena. So I was looking for who this guy is and what this guy is capable of. And unfortunately, I was not able to get a convincing number of James Faulkner before the start of IPL or before he joined the Rajasthan Royals. But since he joined the Rajasthan Royals, the performances that he had put up was actually phenomenal. He had a couple of fifers, and not just that, he's actually a very useful pinch hitter. And after that, one of those players who I actually searched a lot, and I was brainstorming, or I was actually deep diving with the records, was Jofra Archer. When Archer was picked in the auction, I was not too sure about his records. I was not too sure about the stats. When I searched online, when I searched in the internet, I was not able to get much of the numbers. But the impact that he had shown with the Rajasthan Royals was phenomenal. That he was actually given a citizenship in England and he was made to play the World Cup. So Corbin Bosch is that kind of player whom I'm actually looking forward, just in the likes of James Faulkner and Joe Archer, who can bowl quick and also could be a pinch hitter and a useful batting liability. Saurabh, over to you. So, what's your prediction, or what would be your expectation of Barbados Royals in the CPL?
Firstly, when I look at the team, first thing you'll see is power hitting. All of them are power hitters. One thing that you can count as the weakness of the team is there's not an out and out fast bowler. If you look, Jason Holder, he's more of a cutter type of bowler, and Obed McCoy, similar type of bowler, and not an express fast bowler, you can say. But after all, the team looks good, and I think they're going to do well in this CPL.
Yeah, this is CPL is going to be fun, and not just because Rajasthan Royals is going to have another franchise, just because of the fact that these players are just going to come back to India and start contributing for the Rajasthan Royals yet again, and we are going to see some phenomenal performances in the days to come. So, Timothy, this is going to be a very good question that you would be liking to answer, and this is on a very victorious note on the last concluded 60 tournament. To those of you who are not aware of 60 tournament, the 60 tournament is a very, very weird and a very entertaining tournament. It's not a conventional cricket or a conventional tournament where you have a very detailed or an established set of rules and regulations. You have the most weird and shocking and surprising sets of rules and regulations, but it would actually entertain you. So the women's Barbados Royals team had managed to clinch the trophy of the 60 tournament. So your thoughts on this and how well did you enjoy that?
Well, I really enjoyed the 60s, a new exciting tournament, and it was really good to see that the women Barbados team won the inaugural edition of the tournament, and the men also did pretty well in the tournament. They didn't go all the way, but they did pretty well in the tournament. And the name that came up again was Corbin Bosch. He scored the most runs for Barbados, and he had the most wickets at the best average for Barbados in the tournament. So yeah, it was really a joy to watch Barbados, and it just concluded 60 competition.
Yeah, so to remind you all, Barbados Royals men's were the semi-finalists and Barbados Royals women were the finalists. So that's a very victorious start of the 60 tournament, I would say, in the perspective of a Royals fan. So coming to you, Mayank. So Corbin Bosch everywhere, and no wonder. I never expected Corbin Bosch to make such an impact with the bat. I actually expected him to actually contribute a lot with the bowling as how he was expected to be. He was actually picked as a specialist bowler, even if you look at the IPL. But he actually batted number three when you look at the last CPL match. So and also not just that, in the 60 tournament as well, he established himself as a very good pinch hitter and also a responsible batter. So Corbin Bosch, I'm very sure you would have got a chance to look through the stats of Corbin Bosch in his batting and bowling. Your thoughts on that?
I think he has been doing really great. I mean, everyone is talking about like Brevis or Stubbs, but I think Corbin Bosque is definitely one of the players. Like the way he is playing, like the way he's batting, and obviously contributing with the ball as well. I think he can. He is going to be obviously a great player in the future.
Yeah, if Corbin Bosch is watching, Mr. Corbin Bosch, all the Royals are actually backing you, and we are all eagerly waiting for you to perform well in the CPL, and not just in CPL, but in the upcoming IPL as well. And over to you, Shifali. So there were some interesting names in the last concluded 60 tournament. Uh, Harry Tector. Harry Tector, an Irish cricketer, a promising Irish cricketer who had actually got the attention of the cricket fraternity for the kind of cricket that he had actually displayed against India, for the kind of batting that he had displayed. Even Hardik Pandya had actually gifted
Mm.
his own bat to Harry Tector after that Indo-Irish series. So Harry Tector, Harry Tector has actually played the 60 tournament and he was part of Barbados Royals and he was replacement of Mujibur Rahman. So do you think Harry Tector to be part of Rajasthan Royals in any time sooner? Because the template is actually pretty much the same, be it Barbados Royals or Rajasthan Royals. So with that being said, be it David Miller, he was actually part of Rajasthan Royals and now he's
Hmm.
the captain of Barbados Royals. So with such points being taken into mind, Harry Tector, can he be that go-to player in the next auction for the Rajasthan Royals?
Yeah, the way that he played in the 60 tournament, I feel he looks promising, and there can be chances because like I see that we do like we do take players from different teams depending on their performances. So there can be chances that he will be getting a chance from the way he has performed. So we can hope for that. Otherwise, if we look at the Barbados women's team, I just was just following the 60 tournament on. I was just searching and I did some. I saw that like we won the women's player of the series was also from the Barbados, Haley Matthews, who actually played with both bat and ball, who did pretty amazingly well. And in the finals we didn't score much. I mean, out of 60 balls we scored only 65, but still we defended it with a fantastic bowling. I mean,
Exactly.
the yeah. I think yeah. So we did pretty well with the bowling. I feel this the and also one more point which I like noticed is Sandkids won the 60 tournament men's, and we just defeated them in the first match. So I'm just hopeful that can be our chance to win the CPL now. Because they've
Well,
defeated the winners of the 60 tournament already.
well, that's an interesting take. If Barbados Royals players are watching this, this is for you. We have got your stats. We have got your stats, and we have got Shefali the Paul the Octopus predicting you to win all the way from here. So that's good. Let's keep working with our fingers crossed, Shefali. And so and yeah, this is going to be an interesting question to you. So, with most of the players of Barbados Royals being part of Rajasthan Royals or ex-Royals of Rajasthan Royals, who could be that player or who could be that Caribbean player or that overseas player that you want to see in Rajasthan Royals color from Barbados Royals color, who could be part of who couldn't be a part of any other team. I mean, he should not be part of any other IPL team uh, from Barbados Royals to Rajasthan Royals, a transition. Who could be that player who you would be wanting from Barbados Royals from here to here?
Yeah, I saw the match, the first match of the CPL, and I saw the captain of the 60s, Kyle Mayers, and those shots over the offside and that Caribbean flair, him batting with Joss, it's going to be a great player to see. So I want him to join the Rajasthan Royals in the IPL.
Well, that would be an interesting answer. And I have a very interesting answer as well. Not many would agree with me, but yes, I'll go ahead with it. I actually want to see someone like Rakin Khanwal in the Rajasthan Royals color, just because of the kind of shots that he is capable of playing. And whenever he occupies the crease, and he looks so confident, and he's capable of hitting those 100-meter sixes, 105-meter sixes. He's that capable player, and whenever he hits the ball, and even when he mistimes the ball, it just flies for the six. And he reminds me of Carlos Brathwaite, of what he did to England in the final over of Ben Stokes in the T20 World Cup some 4 years back. With that being said, there were a number of questions that were shot to us by our fans. So it's time for us to answer those questions. Let's have those questions one by one. And there was a question also really expanding the horizon with franchises overseas. What are your thoughts on this? So, Timothy, can you please take this? Because the only Royals that we knew before were Rajasthan Royals. And now it was a year back, it was Barbados Royals, and not just men's team, women's team as well. And now Pulse Royals. So, your take on this? How, in which way do you think it would be beneficial for the players and for the franchise and for the fans?
Well, I really think that is a good thing that the Royals group is doing because it gives exposure to not only local players, but it brings together players from other different countries to join the Royals family. So a lot of opportunities are open out there for those that come on board the Royals brand.
All right, yeah, that's an interesting take on. And Mayak, over to you to the same question, but on a different context. So, what kind of adjustments are these players across different franchises? I mean, say for instance, a player like Obed McCoy is being part of the Rajasthan Royals for the last season, and now he is actually making his plays in the Caribbean Premier League. It's its own league, it's his own hometown, and its home conditions. So, and coming back to IPL from there to here, being part of the same franchise, what kind of adjustments does he need to do, or what kind of adjustments does any player who comes across these formats or across these tournaments for the same team had to do?
I think, like you mentioned, like I guess when you play for the same franchisee, like in couple of places or like in all the places, I guess uh, for I guess there's that instant connection. You don't have to really look after that. I have to bond. I have to gel in. You are like that kind of senior player in that the player that binds the team together. And I guess yeah, I guess that's very much it. I guess, like you said about Ovid McCoy from the IPL, he must be really benefited the, the experience, and he will be using it. He used it for West Indies and bowled brilliantly, and he will be playing for Barbados. He will obviously play for Pal Royals as well. So I guess it's good. I guess, and the experience he will get by playing in different countries, and will be good. Hopefully for Rajasthan Royals, he will come back also with much greater experience, and obviously he becomes a great, even a greater bowler.
Yeah, that would be the expectation of every Royal fan here. So, Shefali, over to you. So, the same question on a different perspective to you. So, how good it would be for the local talents to have such international players who have got exposure in different franchises. Say, for instance, a player like Kuldeep Sen, who has not got much of the international experience or has not made any international appearance as of yet, is actually going to play the IPL next time around with someone like Obed McCoy, or even if someone from CPL has been inducted to the team. I'm very sure Corbin Bosch would not be the same kind of player as how he was in the last season, because he is just going to play a lot of cricket before he comes to us for the next year IPL. He is going to play uh, the other leagues like Pal Royals and Barbados Royals. So, how good do you think it would benefit the local players, not just Indian local players, but for also the Caribbean local players, to have such players who are playing for the same franchise across the I mean across the cricketing franchise around?
I feel it's very important. See, the competition that we have in T20 at this particular stage, uh, I mean, we get a different perspective when we are playing with our own players. I mean, with the people from our country, and when we are or when we have a team, including like people, like players playing from different countries, we get different perspective, we get different new things to learn from them, new experiences. And it not just help the local players who are like playing in the international tournament for the first time, but it also help the experienced player, because when they are going to play in that particular country, they can actually get an advice from somebody whom they are friends with and playing in a different league with a different player of that country. That also benefits and help them, and can give a like they can help them in their national series when they are playing in a different country. So all these actually helps you to grow. And because when we are playing, for example, if I talk about Indian players, if they are playing only with Indians around, you can do not get that broader perspective as you get when you are playing with somebody else from a different country. And so the whole scenario gets changed, and the competition we have, it's important that we play in different pitches, different ground, different atmosphere all around. Everything is essential to build a strong player. So it's really a fantastic idea, even for sports as an industry. If we talk about our sports as a business, it will going to benefit. It will be beneficial to everyone. Like we are talking about Barbados Royals because we are attached to the Rajasthan Royals, right? Because we came from IPL, but we are following that tournament because we want to see that which player will be performing and whom we can hire or can take in Rajasthan Royals. So we are also looking at the viewership of those particular tournaments are also increased if we also come along. And similarly, the people who are from West Indies are following IPL because they will keep an eye on the maybe a West Indies player of an from in the IPL, and they will particularly pick them for Barbados Royals. So yeah, it's very important, and there is a lot of competitive cricket going on, so it is important.
Yeah, I love the perspective. It's a win-win situation for every player, where you learn from
Yes.
everyone learns from every player. That's an interesting take.
Mm.
And Sarah, over to you. This would be a fan perspective, and this will be the last question. I mean, last discussion point for this night as well. So the same point, but on a fan's perspective, uh, a same team or the same franchise playing cricket or playing across different tournaments across the world. So this has actually made us to watch a number of tournaments. I mean, number of franchise cricket, I would say, because I wouldn't, no one would have believed if I would have said that I'm going to watch CPL and I'm going to support a team in CPL, but that's going to happen. And no one would have believed if I'm going to say that I'm going to support a team in South African Premier League as well. So a same franchise playing across different franchise cricket and different tournaments like this, a fan is actually expanding his horizons of watching cricket to different leagues. What do you say? So,
Yeah, absolutely. There are many things involved in it. Like the viewership is the main thing. Like if an IPL franchise, it in itself is a big. Uh, am I audible?
yeah, yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah. So the IPL franchise. Yeah, if an IPL franchise buys a team in the Caribbean Premier League, the viewership is going to increase. Uh, and especially for the players don't feel alienated. Like Trevor Penny is the coach of the Rajasthan Royals. He's the coach in the Barbados Royals as well. So if Obed McCoy is, if he's going to ask something, he won't feel that hesitation of asking him. Playing 6 months with him, he would know better. Uh,
Yeah, that we all agree to what you say, so yes, you're totally right, and that's the biggest advantage of Royals going global across different branches and different leagues of cricket that's being played all around the world. So with that being said, we have reached to the end point of this call. And thank you, everyone. Thank you, gentlemen. And special thanks to Timothy Thompson for joining all the way from the Caribbean islands to take part in our call and discuss and shed some light on the perspectives of CPL and how good cricket is trading up to be in the Caribbean islands. So it was so good for us to have you here, Timothy Thompson. Thank you so much, and thank you so much for everyone who had kept the comments coming and who had been watching this live. And thanks, Shafali, thanks, Mayak, and thanks, Saurabh. Please like, comment, share this Royals Fan TV. And if you have any feedback, please keep that coming so that we keep improving and we assure to give you some quality content. So happy weekend, everyone. We'll come back in the next week with exciting news and exciting updates and exciting discussion. Bye bye.
Thanks, everyone.
All right. Thanks for having me.